Hey, what's up? So this is me, bitch ass mofo. So I just did another take of this video that was much longer, much more my usual like rant ramble style. But I realized that I just want to keep this one a little shorter only because I don't have a lot to add to this conversation. Expedition 33, the most glazed game of 2025. Let's just go through it quickly and try and keep it as spoiler light as possible. I can't promise absolutely no spoilers, but I realized that if I want to get into spoilers, then I'm going to need a much longer, much better organized video. I just want this to be my off-the-cuff thoughts about the game since I was asked to play it by a close friend who I know watches the channel. How you doing? And I figured I owed it the game at least that much. So, up right off the dome, don't have any flaming hot takes about this game. I don't think it's complete. I'm not going to be contrarian and say it's complete ass. I also don't think it's good as everybody says. I think it was a solid game. Well, let's do this in two sections: gameplay and story. And let's go real quick because, like I said, the other one was a like 20-something minute ramble, and I just didn't have a lot to say. I didn't have enough to fill 20 minutes without going into crazy levels of detail that I want to avoid going into. So here we go. Gameplay wise, I thought it was okay. I think that people who say that this redefines the RPG genre they probably haven't played a lot of RPGs. Honestly, that's what I have to say as somebody who has played a fair number of RPGs. That you have not played that many RPGs if you play this, and it blows your mind because I've seen people say like, "Oh, this is it, the ultimate combination of turn-based gameplay and action RPG gameplay. This is it. This is like the Dark Souls of blah blah." Like, dude, stop. Paper Mario was doing this like 20 years ago. Super Mario RPG came out with like 94. It was doing this shit back then. You know, this isn't anything crazy. The gameplay boils down to, can you parry good? If yes, then you're going to be fine. If no, then, well, there's systems in place to help you, but I recommend getting good at parrying. And if you don't enjoy parrying, well, you're fucking SOL, because that's going to be your main way to just, it's basically mandatory. Like, you could just dodge, I guess, and that might be an interesting, like, challenge run, but you're making it harder on yourself. It's not that hard, and once you get good at it, it trivializes a lot of encounters. I was doing the post-game stuff, and I just got so bored. I was at around level 90. I was doing one of the optional bosses. I had the tower almost maxed out. And I'm just like, yes, I'm going to do everything. And I was so enthusiastic about it for like the first 10 hours of the post game. And I just hit a wall where I'm just like, dude, it's just grind, grind, grind. And every battle is just parry, parry, parry. One shot them with you know who. And move on to the next one. And that's it. That's basically all there is to the combat. I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought for those like core like act 1 through 3, not post game notwithstanding, just the main story stuff, I thought it was pretty fun, but it did get boring pretty quick once it was time to actually like grind and like do all the post game and get like high enough level to blah blah blah. It's gonna boil down to, if you don't enjoy parrying, you're not gonna like it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and like anybody who's glazing it, I'm gonna assume you've played like 3 hours of Persona 5 and nothing else. So, moving on to the story. So, it's extremely hard to talk about it spoiler free. But I'm going to say that I enjoyed this game story a lot. They took a risk with a big twist. If you want absolutely no spoilers, I'm probably going to go into some light spoilers here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I thought that everything that happened in Act 3 was interesting in the way it reframed Act 1 and 2. I can see the argument for it maybe not being the best way of reframing Act 1 and 2. Like, so everything up to this point was for nothing. That's not how I personally felt, but I do see the argument for it. I can see why that would be frustrating. For me, I thought it was cool and fun. I did hate how certain characters were sidelined come Act 3. And basically 2 characters that had been there like for a while, but they really started to take over. You know who I'm talking about if you've played it, but these 2 characters are really the main characters, and that's who the final choice. Once again, getting into Let's Plays again and again. If you want absolutely nothing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ending decision coming down to choosing between 2 perspectives, and both of them actually being pretty compelling. This is a good example of like a choice ending, because usually choice endings in games suck in my opinion. You got one true ending or good ending and a bunch of half-assed ones. This felt like 2 endings that were both fleshed out. You could see both points of view and you could make an argument for choosing either of them. So I thought that was well executed. So overall, I thought the game was good. It was honestly really good. I enjoyed what it was doing story-wise, and gameplay-wise it was fine. The exploration I didn't think was anything crazy. The visuals and music were very good. I'm not really here to play contrarian there either. I thought it looked good. I thought the music was good. And the Nevron designs were really, really cool. I liked all the Nevron designs. The creature designs in general were cool. The gesturals, SKA, everything. Everybody looked awesome. I love Verso. He's one of my favorite like protagonists in these kind of games. And it took a while to warm up to him. Gustav, of course, is hard not to love. He's just so earnest, such a good guy at his core. Lune I love, and unfortunately, I wish CL had a little bit more to do. That's the one Lumerian party member where I'm just like, oh, I wish they give her a little more to do. But overall, and Mile, of course, is just easy to love as well. But yeah, overall, that's it. Just my quick thoughts on the game. The villains all work great for me because, again, getting into all-star spoilers here. 5-4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. As you go through the game, it reframes their actions and you realize maybe, like, even though they seem like the biggest monsters imaginable at the beginning, the deeper you get into the story, the more you start to understand, like, there's no real bad guys in this story. And it's done so well. But if you notice, most of my praises is levied at the story. I thought the gameplay was bog standard. If you've played command action RPGs before, you've probably, like, seen a better version of this. Frankly, the execution was a little rough in my opinion with the parry system. But it was good enough for me to not hate my life during those initial, like, 20 or so hours, just going through the main story. And once we get into the post-game, it's a different thing. But I think the story content is good enough to keep you coming back. And also, I think on a second playthrough, which I'm not going to play it again right away, but it's definitely a game I'd be interested in playing again in the future, knowing the twists that come later are going to reframe a lot of those earlier conversations and moments in a really cool-ass way. And I've seen videos where people talk about, oh, you got to play this game twice because this and this. And it's like, I see the argument for it. I'm just not somebody who jumps right back into a long game after finishing the first time. You know, I tried that with Persona 5. I got about 2 hours in. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I already had enough of this game. Like, please. And that's where I'm at with Expedition 33. It was fun. I'm glad I gave it an honest try. I'm glad I went in with an open mind. Overhyped as hell. Not 9 Game Awards worthy, really. Not reinventing the genre. Just a solid-ass turn-based RPG, if you like those. And if you played a lot of them, you're probably not going to be blown away by anything here gameplay-wise, but the story might be surprised at the questions it makes you ask in the end. It makes you think. It stays engaging for the whole time. And yeah, that's my honest thoughts. And I'm glad I could share them with you in less than like 30 goddamn minutes. Because what the hell was I even rambling about in that other video? But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.